Many early Christians believed the God of the Old Testament was a false god. What I'm talking about is Gnosticism. Gnosticism was prevalent from the 1st to 4th century CE and spread around areas like Egypt, Syria, and other parts of the Mediterranean. But its roots really go back to ancient Greek and Persian philosophy. Gnostics believed the God of the Old Testament wasn't the true higher god, but instead they saw him as the demiurge. The demiurge in Gnostic thought was a flawed, lower god who created the material realm to trap human souls. The Gnostics didn't think the demiurge was evil in the typical sense, but rather ignorant and misguided. He kept people stuck in the physical world, far away from spiritual truth. Gnostics also believed humans have a divine spark, an inner peace of the true higher God, and the only way to access that was through gnosis. Gnosis comes from the Greek word knowledge, but it's not just intellectual knowledge, it's a deep spiritual awakening to the truth of the universe. One of the major differences in Gnostic belief was how they viewed Jesus. The focus for the Gnostics wasn't on Jesus dying to save us from sin, it was on him being a divine teacher who showed the path to gnosis, the key to spiritual freedom. The early church did not like the Gnostics and even labeled them as heretics. This likely stemmed from the fact that they followed a very different path to salvation. There are a few Gnostic texts that were hidden away for centuries, but we later rediscovered them. One example is the Gospel of Thomas. Another famous discovery was the Nag Hammadi Library, which was found in Egypt in 1945 by a group of local farmers. These texts have been passed around by merchants for centuries before they ended up where they were supposed to be. Many Christians today will hear this and dismiss it without researching early Christian history or Gnostic texts, but there are many who resonate with the Gnostic idea of seeking truth and enlightenment within themselves rather than relying on the church's version of God. What are your thoughts on this? Could the God of the Old Testament really have been a false god, or is that just too far out there for you? Let me know in comments.